live at Nasdaq with Larry King and Mykalai Kontilai. Welcome to the both of you as we commemorate the unveiling of the original Jackie Robinson contracts.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And I understand you are the founder and CEO of Collectors Cafe.
That's right.
Can you tell us about Collectors Cafe?
Actually, about 5 minutes ago, the Collectibles Revolution began with the launch of the first social network and auction house for the world of collectibles. Finally, collectors will have a place to meet online, buy all the collectibles they want, and most importantly, protect themselves from fraud with the world's first authenticity insurance policy underwritten by many of the top insurance companies in the world: Lloyd's of London, Hiscox, AIG, Chubb, Liberty Mutual, Navigators, XL, and CV Star, underwriting the authenticity of collectibles. This may be the most important announcement, in my opinion, in collectibles history, finally having that type of consumer protection.
So in the past, have collectors been at the mercy of where they're buying it, right?
Completely. I mean, when you think about it, those certificates of authenticity you get from most stores aren't worth the paper they're written on.
Wow.
We figured out a way by only allowing the top authenticators and appraisers to be allowed to sell, that the insurance companies would underwrite the insurance protecting collectibles. I see this going in the direction of a commodities market for the collectibles business, because collectibles are commodities.
Everybody collects something.
That's right.
Absolutely. I myself was looking for a signed Peyton Manning jersey, especially given his recent retirement just a few weeks back.
You'll find it on our site.
We'll help you out with that.
Awesome. That's perfect.
But again, from this came Mykalai's amazing discovery of these two incredible documents.
They literally have not been seen by the American public, to the best of my knowledge, for close to 70 years. Today is the 69th anniversary of the signing of the Brooklyn Dodger contract, April 11th, 1947. So the bottom line is somebody acquired the documents very early on and then locked them in a safety deposit box for close to 70 years. So this may be the greatest discovery in collectibles history when you think about it. Something that the world, almost everybody knows what it is, but nobody's ever seen it. So we were so proud. We just unveiled the documents in the middle of Times Square in an amazing ceremony with Larry, the Reverend Al Sharpton, Paul Sorvino, the former borough president of Brooklyn, Marty Markowitz, Master P. They all showed up to honor the great, immortal Jackie Robinson, who we all owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to.
There were two contracts. One is the 1946 contract with Montreal. He played his first season. He signed in 45, played in 46.
Right.
He was most valuable player in the International League that year, and they won the Little World Series. And then the next year, 47, he got promoted up to the Dodgers. So the two contracts, the Montreal contract and the Dodger contract.
Wow.
And they're both historic. First contracts ever signed by a black professional baseball player.
Absolutely. Now, I understand you were at the first game in Brooklyn. Can you tell us about the atmosphere, that environment? What was that like?
I was 12 years old, and I was very up on politics and on culture, and I knew this was historic, and I was a Brooklyn Dodger crazed fan, so we climbed all those stairways up to the bleachers in center field, and I sat in the third row, looked down, there was Jackie Robinson coming on the field in that bright white Dodger uniform. I never forgot it. There were about 28,000 fans there. He was always appreciated in Brooklyn, not anywhere else. He was booed and harassed. He never treated poorly in Brooklyn. Some of his teammates didn't treat him well, but the fans were always gracious to him. And then later in life, I got to interview him twice.
Wow.
And but what I like to bring up is that I later interviewed, after Jackie had passed, interviewed Martin Luther King.
Wow.
And I introduced King as the founder of the Civil Rights Movement. And he corrected me and said, no, the founder of the Civil Rights Movement was Jackie Robinson.
That's bold from such an iconic figure.
Wow. That's historic.
It's one thing to introduce Collectors Cafe, which is an amazing story, which has never been done before, which all the years that Mykalai has been associated with it. But then to have at its opening these Jackie Robinson contracts, which are probably, safe to say, the most valuable collectible in the world.
I would agree with that. And Larry, who has been amazing to work with, Larry and I have co-hosted the Collectors Cafe television series, which is going to be debuting in 2016, with his lovely wife, Sean King, as well, who is a dynamite woman. And so you're going to be hearing a lot about Collectors Cafe all over television. The global revolution's about to begin. I do want, in deference to Jackie Robinson, though, to thank Mayor de Blasio, who proclaimed today, this week, as Jackie Robinson Week. This is the proclamation that he prepared. We read it earlier, and obviously it talks about all the amazing sacrifices and harassment and horrible suffering he went through, really for all of our benefit.
Given all of this harassment and all the insults and threats that were put on his life and his family's life, if any other player is put in this predicament, do you think that the game is impacted the way that it is?
Well, he was very special. Branch Rickey, who signed him, was the Dodger general manager. He carefully looked at all the Negroes playing in the Negro professional leagues. Jackie was not the best of the baseball players. In fact, Jackie was a better football player, better track and field star, pretty good at basketball, and an okay baseball player. But baseball was the only place he could make money after UCLA. So he was playing with the Kansas City Monarchs, and he was a good ball player, solid good ball player, not the best. But Rickey wanted someone special, a college graduate, above average intelligence, and a man with a great deal of strength.
I mean, it's almost unfathomable to think how he endured that type of abuse and remained so stoic and remained so poised, really. And he had to do that, and that to me is as amazing as the feat itself, that he was the first African-American, but that he was able to endure that with such class.
Certainly.
And he had a very rough temper. After 2 years, Rickey gave him 2 years to not show his temper. In his third year, the real Jackie came out.
Oh boy.
He was a vicious competitor. He was a bench jockey. He would yell at the other team. When he became himself, he was a pro forma captain. He and Pee Wee Reese had a tremendous friendship. But to the end, in fact, one of the things Jackie said to me was, "Don't put me in my grave with promises. Don't tell me that someday my son is going to have it equal. You give it to me now. I want it now. I don't want promises." I never forgot that.
That's amazing.
So the real Robinson put his own personality aside, but he was not a calm, laid-back guy.
And, you know, what's not talked about a lot, I've done, obviously, since our company acquired the documents, I've done a lot of research on Jackie Robinson, and he was a true civil rights activist beyond baseball. I mean, he was on the front lines of freedom, civil rights, marching, equal rights, and that's not talked a lot about as much as it should be, I don't believe. He really was a true die-hard civil rights activist, not just the original, as Larry said, founding father of the civil rights movement. He was the real deal.
And in business, he was vice president of Chock full of Nuts.
Yeah.
He helped run that company. He was very active, as he said, in the civil rights movement and making speeches all over the country. He was politically active, and they surprise you to learn that in 1960 he supported Nixon. He thought Nixon was a pragmatist and would therefore do more. He didn't trust Kennedy.
Oh, wow.
You had to be something to get his endorsement.
Yeah.
It didn't come easy from Jackie Roosevelt Robinson. I think the most incredible athletic story, beyond athletic story of the 20th century.
Absolutely.
You know, I've got to say, to add on to that, we also owe a great debt of gratitude to Rachel Robinson, who endured a tremendous amount of suffering as well. And she carries on the legacy and has for many decades through the Jackie Robinson Foundation, which is all about the most wonderful ideas that exist: education, promoting equal rights, freedom. And she's been doing it quietly but very, very passionately, and her deeds speak much louder than anything else.
As many have said, without her, there may not have been a Jackie.
Yeah.
So we owe her a great debt of gratitude also.
Absolutely. And Major League Baseball, they pay respects to Jackie Robinson through the new week, Jackie Robinson Week.
And Friday night, I will be at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. It's Jackie Robinson night. Rachel will be there. Yeah. And that will, April 15th is the actual day.
Yes.
He played his first game, and April 15th is Friday night.
Yeah. So you'll be right there in the midst of it.
And Mykalai will be at the Brooklyn Historical Society.
Yeah, we'll actually be starting our Collectors Cafe Freedom Tour, a tribute to Jackie Robinson. It's really all about Jackie. We're just taking the contracts around as our civic duty. But it's all about, we've prepared these wonderful programs which we're going to take around the country, and it's really all about Jackie Robinson's story. It's really all about his history and what the contracts meant. And it's a nice little guide to Jackie Robinson. But we're going to take the contracts on a national tour.
Yes.
Starting here at the New York Historical Society.
Okay.
And then around North America.
Absolutely. So with these new documents, and they're not new documents, but unveiling of them and re-releasing them to the public, how would you expect, or how would you encourage the upcoming generation to pay tribute and respect the legacy of Jackie Robinson and exactly what these contracts mean?
In my opinion, it's all about service. You know, Jackie has paved the way. We still have a long way to go for true equality in America, in my opinion. And I think to continue the spirit of Jackie Robinson, and I feel the spirit of America becoming much more multicultural, much more united. We have serious problems we have to address. Clearly, we all know that. But I think in just serving others, being a good neighbor, and helping your fellow Americans, I think that would have made Jackie Robinson very proud.
And the children need to be educated as to really who he was. You know, a lot of these youngsters, they get everything on the internet and on their phones. Study Jackie Robinson. Learn what an important figure he is in American history beyond baseball. And education is our most important asset in this country. And so children ought to learn about Jackie. I know he's taught in schools, as he should be.
Yes.
The more you learn, the more knowledge you have, the better off you are. Also this week, Ken Burns' documentary on Jackie is on PBS.
Right, I was going to ask you
Monday and
about that.
Tuesday night. Ken Burns is a friend of mine. He's the best documentarian, I think, of all he's done on the Civil War and on Martin Luther King.
Absolutely.
But his series on Robinson and baseball should be terrific.
And did you also have a role in kind of helping them out with, I guess, the documents now that they've been unveiled?
We haven't, but it is an open invitation.
Yeah.
We would love for Ken Burns. He is I'm a PBS guy.
Yeah.
As you know, I used to own the nightly business report on PBS. I think Ken Burns, as Larry said, is, in my opinion, the greatest documentarian of his time, for sure. So we'd love to promote Jackie Robinson through his message as well.
I think if Ken had known of this, it would have been in the documentary.
Yeah.
But you kept it a secret.
Speak of the devil,
Haley.
look on the back monitor over there. There he is.
Ken Burns is here.
Yeah. Now he's on the TV there.
Yeah.
And he's commenting on the future of entertainment for those who don't have CNBC on right now. As two entertainment industry kind of icons and leaders, and you've significantly disrupted the industry as well, what advice would you give to the next generation of kind of ambitious leaders within this industry?
Collectors Cafe and entertainment, one thing they have in common is passion. Being passionate about what you do. This guy here, who I've grown to love and he's become a friend, is the most passionate person about what he does, and he loves what he does. And if you do what you do and you love it, you usually end up doing it, you know, the best way you can and enjoying your life. And I think that's what collecting is all about, finding that passion, whether it's a little boy collecting baseball cards or a great-grandmother collecting, you know, arts and crafts or whatever. We all have that passion inside of us. And the history behind collectibles is amazing. So I think passion is the link between entertainment and collectibles.
And my advice, never give up. If you want something, you'll get roadblocks and people will say no. If you can accept the no, then you're not ready. But get up off the floor, people will reject you. Rejection is the next step toward acceptance.
Absolutely.
Never give up.
Never give up. I think those are wise words to leave our viewers on. Before we do end our segment, we did bring some gloves and a baseball. You know, I figured we could have a quick catch since we're here.
I'll do this anytime.
Anytime,
You
yeah.
should see Larry's collections, his baseball collection.
So what's the best card that you have right now that you're holding on to for a while?
A card, a lot of cards. Well, I got a Babe Ruth signed ball.
Okay.
Gehrig signed it too.
I've got,
Put that right in there.
Jesus, I got a lot of cards. But I got more things. I got gloves. I got Mayweather's gloves, Ollie's gloves signed. Lot.
You've got quite the collection going on.
Right.
There you go.
Whoa. Take me out to the ball game.
He went to high school with Sandy Koufax
Wow.
and Fred Wilpon.
That's right.
They Mike. Same time.
And that was in Brooklyn, right?
Where else?
Where else? I'm in Brooklyn right now myself.
Where?
I'm living right in Bed-Stuy off of DeKalb.
I grew up in Bensonhurst.
Shout out to Chance King and Cannon King, two future Major League Baseball players.
My two sons are terrific baseball players.
Who are really, really great players.
17 and 16, they both can play.
Wow.
Okay, I'm tired.
Well, it was a pleasure having you both
Thank you, guys.
here at Nasdaq today. Mr. King, thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Mykalai, pleasure, and thank you for unveiling the documents for the rest of the world to see and educate
You
the
owe
future
him
generation.
a great deal of thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
That was great.
Great interview.